Hey guys, welcome in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It is week 25 of 30 books in 30 weeks, and it is our week of genius. And so I get to share with you guys a book that was written by one of my mentors, one of my personal board of directors, one of my personal heroes, not a hero really like no without a cape, but yeah, as far as advice and direction and work ethic and all those things go, definitely a hero. So this week, Dr. Will Moreland's book Genius Potential is the book, my book selection, my aha selection for personal development this week. Hey Clanisha, what's going on, Kevin? And so I get to share with you guys some tips and takeaways from this amazing book, and from one of my favorite people of all time, Dr. Will Moreland, Genius Potential. If you guys don't have this book, I do highly recommend that you get this book. We're going to talk about discovering your genius this week, developing your genius, what that means, what it looks like, how it happens, all those great things. And so I'm excited to share that with you guys this week. For those of you who are coming in, feel free to share the video out. It's definitely information that people are going to want to have. If you don't know who I am, you're not familiar with what this is, 30 Books in 30 Weeks is a personal development journey that we started about 8 months ago, back at the end of 2017. And I really wanted to ramp it up for 2018 and be able to take deeper dives into these personal development jewels such as this. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcy Batiste. I'm your ultimate power coach, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And I live life on Mars. I'm sold out to my happiness, and being the spark that ignites the light for somebody else to shine is the thing that motivates me and keeps me going every single day, which is why we do 30 books in 30 weeks. That's why we are 25 weeks deep. That's why we are 179 days into this thing, just in 2018 alone. And like I said, it started at the end of 2017. So without further delay, tonight's message from Genius Potential. One of the things that I learned very early on from Dr. Will Moreland was his very strong work ethic and his belief that it's never the big things. It's the small things that you do every single day that sets you apart. It's the small investments that you make every single day that allows you to discover your genius, to walk in your genius, and to share your genius. And you know, it was one of those things where when he first said that, I remember when I first started working with him and he shared that with me, I'm like, you know, you always think that success is the big stuff. You think that success has to be something monumental, or the road to success has to be this tremendous thing. And what you realize is that another thing he always says is success ain't sexy. Like, success is boring. It's the little stuff that you do. It's the stuff that doesn't get likes. It doesn't get shares. It's the things that you do in your office, in your home, habits that you have in your life that sets you apart and puts you in position to be successful. That's what discovering your genius is all about. And so tonight I wanted to share some of the things that he shares in the book. I think I'm on page 54, and he shares in here some ways that you can discover what your genius is. And so one of the things that's important to understand is that his belief is that everyone is born with genius, right? And so it's not the famous people, it's not the people that make it over the top or whatever, because there are people in our own backyards, in our own families, that can outperform, outsing, outdo, outwork people that you see on TV, people that you see in the NFL, the people that you see. So we all have our own genius, but what is that? And how do you find it? How do you tap into it? And that's what this book is about. And so here's some of the things that he says that you can ask yourself, what makes you come alive when you do it? And I'm going to tell you that, you know, for me, like being sold out to my happiness, that was one of those things where I was like, yeah, that's what I like when I say that being the spark that ignites the light for somebody else to discover and embrace their star power. That does it for me. That really, really does it for me. That's what excites me. That's what makes me come alive. I was talking to one of my book coaching clients. We're working on her first book, and her light bulb came on the other day, and I was like, yes, this is what makes it all worthwhile. This is what I do for, because she was so excited. She got it. The book started flowing, the chapters started flowing, and she was excited, and that excited me. So one of the other things he says is what comes natural to you. You could do it in your sleep. He says genius shouldn't be hard. When you're operating in your genius, it shouldn't be a constant struggle for you. It should come relatively easy. And so a lot of times what happens is we overlook the things that are our genius because they do come so naturally. We don't think about it. You do it without ever saying, oh wow, this is something special. You don't feel like it's special because it's so easy for you, but that's all your genius is. And then he says it's something that you could do every day and never get tired of doing it. There are some things that I would dread doing every single day, and I would never ever want to do it. And so I would know that that's not my genius then. That's not something that I might be good at it. I may be able to be successful at it. Hell, I might even be able to make a lot of money at it. But it doesn't mean that that's my genius, because my genius shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be a chore. It should be that thing that comes natural. I like this one. Number 7, he says, what's a recurring dream or vision that you continue to have? You know, is there something that you can really, truly see yourself doing well into the future? I know one of the tests that we use is to say, will I still be happy doing this when I'm 70? Is this something that I would still love to be able to do? Is this still something that would move me and soothe me and spark my soul? And for me, my coaching, that's what it is. I love that. My writing, that's what it is. So that's how I know that I'm operating in my genius, because those are the things that I can't even imagine a day where I'm not like excited about writing. I'm not excited about working on a new book or something like that. Hearing a light bulb come on for one of my clients, like I could do that when I'm 70. So that's what I know. Like this is part of my genius. I'm on the right track. He says, and even thinking about what things annoy you. So number 8, he says, what really annoys you? Maybe seeing things out of place. And then he says, what activities that you have a natural pull towards. So what are the things that attract you? For me, writing has always been my thing. Ever since I was a little kid, long as I could remember, the pen and paper was a place of solace. It provided me peace. And so for me, that writing, I know without question that writing is part of my genius. And it's exciting when you start breaking those things down and you start looking and you start realizing like, oh, okay, like genius doesn't have to be Mozart. Genius doesn't have to be Michelangelo. It doesn't have to be the Oprahs of the world. Like you might be your own superstar in your own little world, operating in your own little genius, but impacting the lives of the people that you touch every single day. That's your genius. So that's the message tonight from Genius Potential. This book is awesome. Oh, and number 10 is, what did you visualize yourself becoming as a child? And here's the thing, guys. On that one, that was the one that really got me. And we just talked about me being a writer and the pen and paper being a source of comfort for me. But what I had realized was that along the way, I let life get away from me. I had a family. I had a career in banking. I was a vice president. I was in the community. I was a community leader. So all these other things took precedent and they took over and they became what I thought my life was, right? And because I was successful in those areas, I thought this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But what I realized was that I wasn't happy doing a lot of those things. I was successful, I was making good money, but I wasn't fulfilled. It didn't spark my soul. It didn't fill me up. I could not ever see myself doing some of those when I'm 70. And so it was one of those things when you get really crystal clear about what it is that moves you, what it is that soothes you, and what it is that sparks your soul. That's when you're operating in your genius. So for me, the writing, that was my thing. And then along the way on my journey, I discovered I love to help other people. Like, that's an important thing for me. Seeing my clients, see their light bulbs. What's up, Donovan? Seeing their light bulbs come on sparks my soul. So that's how I know, like, that's part of my genius. I know without question, without doubt, like, I don't dread when I have client calls. I don't dread when we have these conversations. For one thing, I get to choose who I work with as an entrepreneur. So that's a beautiful thing. Those are all things that reinforce to me that my genius potential is my writing, it is my coaching, and it is helping and serving others. And you know, for those of you who follow me on a regular basis, you know my big thing is survival is a responsibility. Reaching out, pulling somebody else up when you go through something and you come through it and you come out stronger, reaching out and helping somebody else and giving something back. Hey LaDanya, what's going on, honey? Giving something else back. Like, that's important to me. That's part of my genius. That's why, as a domestic violence advocate, I don't get tired of having those conversations. I don't get tired of sharing the information, of sharing the pictures, of telling my story. Like, that's part of who I am. It's part of what moves me, soothes me, and sparks my soul. That is my genius potential. So y'all stay tuned. I can't wait to bring you guys another tidbit from tomorrow night. As always, thanks for living life on Mars and being part of the Ultimate Power Team. I'm glad you guys are here. We'll talk tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys.